Hello, my name is Tracy Drake and I'm a doctorate student at Liberty University. I am pursuing my degree in philosophy of history and have plans to graduate as a historian. I have always been interested in African American struggles to freedom from oppression. Therefore, studying W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington and how they fought to gain civil rights for their people was an easy choice for me. I began my research with the question, what were the key differences between how Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois advocated for civil rights for African Americans? My research question is significant because while both men worked to obtain civil rights for African Americans, they both had very different opinions and methods for how this should be achieved. To complete my research, I used a variety of sources, primary and secondary sources. It was easier finding primary sources for Booker T. Washington than it was for finding primary sources on Du Bois. My dominant research methodology was textual analysis, but I also aided my research with philosophical and cultural material analysis. I was able to analyze primary documents that were personal interviews, speeches, and letters written by both men. Additionally, I was able to use books written by Du Bois and Washington to add to my research. The evidence showed that while Du Bois and Washington both grew up during turbulent times, their perspectives on how to combat inequalities in the 20th century were quite different. Du Bois believed that equality for African Americans could be obtained through higher education. He advocated for blacks to become doctors and lawyers and to use their professionalism to be active in politics, whereas Washington felt that African Americans should get vocational training and skills to promote equality. He also believed that blacks should save their money and buy a home to help gain respect from whites. Washington believed in mutual respect and love for both races, whereas Du Bois felt that the races should be equal but separate. While Washington cooperated with Du Bois with his theories, and at one point even asked him to teach at his institute, Du Bois rejected this offer and felt that Washington's approaches to gaining civil rights for African Americans were passive and ineffective. In fact, reports say that Du Bois, quote, criticized the famous black educator Booker T. Washington for accepting racial discrimination and minimizing the value of college training for blacks. After completing my research, I still wondered, as the two men aged and were both able to look back on the progress that was made, did they ever come to the meeting of the minds? Did the two men ever agree that while their methods were different, they were both effective for gaining civil rights for African Americans? To find this out, I would need to analyze evidence completed for them for when they were older and less active in their career and more reflective in their practices. Maybe this information will be in some autobiographical work, I'm not sure. However, my evidence showed that while Washington maintained the same mind frame in his practices throughout his active career, Du Bois's theories and methods changed towards the end of his life. First, the NAACP, who Du Bois had co-founded, they dismissed Du Bois as editor of the Crisis, and then shortly after he resigned from the NAACP, which was a leading agent for civil rights. Then he reneged on his theory of the talented 10th. Then he left his American citizenship to gain full citizenship in Ghana, where he died thereafter. Thank you for watching my video defense evidence, and have a great afternoon.